The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, this is the Earnestly Speaking podcast. I'm your host, Ernest E.J. Chris, coming to you on a kind of cloudy Thursday afternoon in South Florida. On the line is actually a former South Florida resident now, back in his hometown, North Carolina, sports journalist, and longtime friend of the show, of the podcast, Antwan Staley. My man, Antwan, what's going on, brother?
Hey, how you doing?
It's been a long time, man. I miss talking to you on the show, brother. Seriously.
Yeah, I definitely miss talking to you too as
well. We got some breaking news. I actually wanted to dedicate this show actually to hitting up some of the biggest topics in sports this week. I really haven't done that in quite a while. August is obviously normally a slow month for the most part, but it's kind of what I call the calm for the storm because, as you know, in 2 weeks from now, college football starts, and the NFL's week after that, and then before you know it, baseball pennant playoffs, and then the NBA's back. So it's a lot going to be going on in the next 5 months. Got some breaking news before we sign on here. DeMarcus Cousins, ace torn ACL. Wow.
Yeah.
Working out.
That's a killer.
I see that, and this is a guy that just had a major injury 2 years ago, and I'm seeing that, I'm thinking, that could be a career ender.
Yeah, I know that major injury, had an Achilles first time, and then now he's coming off of that, and now this, and he suffered some injuries through the course of last season, so, yeah, I have a hard time believing it's going to be another team that might want to take his hit because a torn ACL, that usually takes about 12 months to come back from, and that's just considering he's had multiple injuries on top of that as well. So it's going to be a long road back for him if he ever gets back. So I hope I'm wrong, but I have a hard time believing, it's going to be the same once again.
I mean, could you argue like that? Okay, aside from actually breaking your leg, whatever, or whatnot, that in the last 2 to 3 years, this guy has gotten probably the two most debilitating injuries in sports. Probably in basketball, definitely. The torn ACL, of course, and then the Achilles. Yeah,
it's the worst two injuries you could have as a sports athlete. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get any worse than that, especially a basketball player too. At that, somebody that needs their athleticism, and that's really rob you of that. So yeah, it's rough. I feel bad for him, especially him going to a really good situation with the Lakers, and the Lakers are going to be contending for a title. And last year with Golden State, he was there for part of it, but he wasn't able to be there through the bulk of the time he was there. And now it's going to be the same thing with the Lakers all over again, almost.
Now, many people believe that, them signing Cousins, in addition to having Anthony Davis and a couple of pieces here and there, that Cousins could have been what you call an X factor or maybe a wild card. How does this impact the Lakers now going forward?
Well, they did adjust the center position there as well, so I think they'll be fine regardless. But yeah, I thought that having Cousins there would have definitely put them over the top. If he would have reclaimed that level somewhat close to that level, that all-star level that he was in New Orleans, and obviously with the Sacramento Kings. But now you have to hope that Kyle Kuzma can take another step up in his game. Obviously, I think LeBron's going to have a big year, although he'll be 35. So coming off of the injury as well. And you have to hope AD just has a really, really great year as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how they shake out there for the Lakers. But yeah, I thought he was definitely the wild card and everything, and potential the whole factor of possibly putting them over the top and winning the championship.
I mean, you can honestly say that a wide open year got you more wide open now. Honestly, with him being hurt, for many teams.
Yeah, I like the Clippers to begin with, but I still think the Lakers could possibly win the title. But I think the Clippers have the better surrounding team around them.
Could you argue that the Lakers, like, if all things are equal, and let's say, because obviously a lot of my concern the Lakers more so, not that they couldn't do it, is that you got a guy like Anthony Davis who, let's face it, when he's healthy, to me, top 3 player in the league, to me. But again, it's now a thing where the narrative is so long with him and not being healthy for a long time now that it's almost that you expect him to get hurt at some point. But all things even, LeBron stays healthy obviously this year. No, whatnot. That they're the best team in the league, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. If he's what LeBron can be potentially, yeah, I definitely think they could be the best team. I think the Clippers, as far as the team from top to bottom, is better.
I agree with you.
You got Kawhi Leonard, you got Paul George, you also got Patrick Beverly there, good defensively, and you got Lou Williams coming off the bench. I think with the Lakers, you have a lot of questions. They could potentially be the best team, but I mean, LeBron, obviously we talked about his age. I definitely think he's going to be great this year and have something to prove, but AD, as you hit on, their injury concerns. And then the rest of the roster is a lot of big questions there. So, yeah, I just think I think the Lakers are going to be good. How good, I don't know, but if they won the title, it wouldn't surprise me, but I think there are more question marks with them than the Clippers, where I think there's more of a solid, sure thing there.
Right, absolutely. All right, let's get to the NFL because the NFL season starts very soon. We are now entering week 2 of the preseason. The Antonio Brown saga right now is probably one of the 2 biggest stories right now going on in the pros. You have the situation obviously with his foot issue, I guess due to cryotherapy. He hasn't been able to play or do anything with the team. And then of course the saga now with his helmet, where he wanted to use his old helmet. The NFL has now new bylines, new standards for helmets and whatnot, and he's lost at a junction to get his old helmet. Now he says he's going to come back and where it may be. Where did you stand on the whole thing with the helmet issue with Antonio Brown?
I mean, the NFL does it for safety reasons, so you have to understand that. Yeah, I mean, they have a reason. They have a vested reason they're doing it. I thought the whole thing was a little bit overblown and ridiculous on his part, but I understand a player wants to have a comfortable helmet and fit, but the rules apply to everybody, so you just kind of have to roll with it. But I knew he was going to play, but simply because, I mean, how is he not going to play? So you got at least $30 million on the table. Nah, he'd be crazy to do that. So, I knew it wasn't going to be. I figured once the league ruled he wasn't going to get his weight, and he'd come back and play, and that'd be that.
Did you? I mean, you're a Raider fan. Did you like the Antonio Brown signing? I mean, the guy obviously is very talented. Still one of the top 3 receivers in the league, in my opinion. But I mean, there's a lot of drama and baggage to come to this guy, man. What were you on the signing of him? On a trade, rather?
You mean the trade?
Right, the trade,
right. He's a diva, obviously. I mean, from the Raiders' standpoint, you really didn't give that much up to him. You gave a lot of guaranteed money. They redid his deal. I think that was more something I probably wouldn't have done, just considering what's happened with him. But as far as the talent standpoint, production, he's one of the most talented running backs of all time. I mean, wide receivers of all time. He's put numbers up there with Jerry Rice. So, yeah, I think he's going to produce. He's going to feel like he has something to prove, especially how his season ended up with the Steelers last year. He's going to put up big numbers. I don't know if that's going to be enough for the Raiders to put them in the playoffs or anything, especially considering the division that they play in. But I definitely think they'll be better and a team to watch out for this upcoming year, especially they have some star power heading to Vegas next year.
Have you been watching Hard Knocks?
I watched a little bit of it. It's nothing. It wasn't really eventful. They really hadn't even talked about the AB saga a whole lot other than his speech.
I heard that's next week.
This upcoming week.
I heard that's next week.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but yeah, it hasn't been really good to me. It's been kind of, kind of boring to be honest with you. But maybe things will pick up after the 3rd week.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. I haven't watched Hard Knocks probably since the Dolphins one back in 2012 or 2013. The Chad Ochocinco one when he got arrested and
2012, yeah.
2012, right. And I think back then you were doing media in Miami too. Weren't you doing media for the Dolphins back then too as well?
Not in 2012, no. That'd be the next year.
Next year. Yeah. Because I'll be honest with you, like I used to love Hard Knocks. I'm not motivated to watch anymore. I just don't. There's nothing really fascinates me anymore about it. Like even last year, seeing a little bit of the Brown situation, didn't really. I mean, it was okay for the first episode with seeing Baker Mayfield, whatever. But I guess that show no longer does it for me anymore.
I like the Browns one's really good because you get to see how badly Hugh Jackson was doing.
Oh God, yes,
how people were really against his decision. So I thought that was one of the best ones they've had in a while. But yeah, outside of that, it hadn't been necessarily really good as far as because they kind of they kind of water down what they show on TV
Of course.
nowadays because it seems a real cognizant of what they show in front of the cameras.
Yeah, the NFL also has final say on the finished product too.
Yeah, that too as well.
Told, yeah. The other big story right now going on in the preseason is the Ezekiel Elliott Dallas Cowboys standoff of his contract. I wrote about this on my blog last week that, because of the situation the Cowboys are in, because of the players they have, that I feel like, unlike another team that I would say, okay, with the Chargers, for example, and their issue with their running back and not wanting to pay him and you can just let him go, let him walk, whatever, because, quite frankly, that position is a risk. I think, however, in the case of Dallas Cowboys, Ezekiel Elliott, you got to pay him because he pretty much is your offense. He pretty much is the centerpiece of what you do as a team. Like, I firmly believe right now that unless Dak Prescott has a breakthrough year where he's now gone from like a middle of the road quarterback to top 10, top 5, that you have no choice with the Ezekiel Elliott. Like basically, Elliott is the difference between you winning 10 games and losing 10 games, pretty much.
Yeah, I think they want to pay him. It's just a matter of they wanted to wait on paying him because they really have money control for the next 2 years, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. So they wanted to wait. They thought they could wait on him. Obviously, he's holding out, so he wants to get paid now. Dak wants to get paid now. Amari Cooper eventually has to get paid, and they only have $23 million worth of cap room. So you really can't pay everybody. So they're in a situation where you're gonna have to choose who you pay. With Dak wanting $40 million, what my guess would be, I would pay Ezekiel Elliott. I eventually pay Amari Cooper. If Dak wants that much money, what I would do is just have him play out the year, see how you evaluate him, and if he does good this year, you can franchise him. And then in the meantime, next year's a great quarterback draft. You could draft somebody, potentially move up, and then have that guy groomed for a year, and then if Dak wants to leave after that, then you already have somebody in place. So because I don't think he's a $40 million quarterback. No. I'm not mad at what he's trying to do. He's trying to bank on himself, and he feel like I feel like it's his time to shine and get his money. But at the same time, I don't think he's worth that much money. To be completely honest,
he's
it's
not.
No fault of his.
He's not. But I will say this though, like even if he plays to what he was last year, a wash, he's going to get paid somewhere in that neighborhood. Not $40 million necessarily, but he might get paid between 30 and 35 because, and this is my assessment on the whole situation. I think because now with, all the top quarterbacks now that are either older, like Tom Brady, Drew Brees, or, kind of in the prime, like Andrew Luck, and whatever, there is no, unless you go to the draft, there are no really good quarterbacks really that you can tie up right now. So Dak Prescott pretty much is, by namesake, one of the top guys in the market.
But who's going to pay him? Like, that's the thing. I don't know what team's going to pay him.
I think somebody will pay him, or pay him. I'm not saying they'll pay him $40 million. I'm not saying pay him $35 million, but they'll pay him $30 million or above, to some degree.
I can see the Cowboys want to pay him 30. He just doesn't want that much. I mean, he wants more than that. I can see 30, 35. I don't know. I really don't know. Some of the teams that need quarterbacks, I think they're going to look to the Dolphins, the Bengals, potentially the Raiders. Mm-hmm. So I think they're going to look towards the draft. I don't think they're going to look. Maybe the Raiders, possibly, maybe, but a lot of those teams that are bad, I just don't see them paying that much money for Dak Prescott, who I think has really been helped by Ezekiel Elliott and the great offensive line of the Cowboys.
And to be fair, Ezekiel Elliott too, I get his concern because, he plays a position that the risk factor is much higher than, say, Dak Prescott's risk of getting hit with the rules being, curtailed his way, and then even to some lesser extent, Amari Cooper. I actually agree with Ezekiel Elliott's position here. Secure the money, secure the bag.
No, I agree with it. Yeah, he's trying to get as much money as he can as fast as possible because he knows the Cowboys could potentially do, and they could franchise him, and he end up not getting the money that he deserves. So, yeah, I get it from his standpoint. But, yeah, I mean, they thought they could be able to wait on him, which obviously I guess now it's not going to be the case.
There's going to be another lockout in there. There's going to be another lockout.
Yeah, it looks – well, I don't know how long it might be, but it looks like, it might be a potential work stoppage of some sort in a couple of years. So, yeah, it definitely wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, I'm just hoping that this time around the players themselves are prepared, unlike last time.
Well, they sent a memo out today
Okay.
saying that the players need to be prepared for it, which is 2 years away. So yeah, it could be. I think the players want a lot more guaranteed money. I don't know if the owners necessarily want to do that. So that might be the whole. That might be what holds things up there. So yeah, they actually sent that out today and said they need to be prepared for some kind of work stoppage potentially, even though it may not. I don't think it's going to happen long term like a baseball type of thing, but it could be one of those things where you might not have a preseason, or there might be some kind of shortened preseason or something of that nature.
Do you have I know it's really early. I never really do this with you normally, but I'll ask anyway. Do you have an early Super Bowl prediction? Like, do you have like an idea what two teams you think in each conference are gonna represent their conference in the Super Bowl? Do you have a pulse on that?
Not yet. I've thought about it, but not really. I haven't had sold on anybody per se. I have like teams that I think are gonna win the division, but I don't think I have a solid pick in that area.
Yeah, I like Philly in the NFC. I'm as long as Carson Wentz stays healthy. Again, like we discussed with Anthony Davis, of course, that's becoming a thing where you have to kind of sort of like consider that as a thing that he may get hurt. Because 2 years in a row in the same situation, yeah. But I like Philly in the NFC. The AFC is a lot more question marks because the easy pick is to say that it's the Patriots, but. At some point it's got to end, right? At some point, this Tom Brady Belichick thing has to end, right? I mean, he is 42 years old.
He's been saying that for like 7-8 years now.
But the older you get, so you figure, okay, the numbers will go to your favor at some point.
Yeah, it will, but I don't know if this is going to be the year. I think at least roster wise, they're pretty stacked. I think, this is just questions about replacing Gronkowski, but also, I really like the roster that they did. I like the pickup of N'Keal Harry from the draft. I think he's going to be big for him, especially having somebody down there in the red zone big, where they relied on Gronk a lot, and they're going to rely on the running game. I think they're really stacked at the running back position, unlike before, which is going to take pressure off Tom Brady.
Yeah, like this is my issue with the AFC. The Pats are too easy. The Chiefs are, now they got tape on Mahomes.
Until I see Andy Reid do it, I'm not going to pick them.
No, of course. And then it's a sexy pick, like because what they did last year, But now they have tape on Mahomes now, So I expect some sort of regression to the mean to some degree. Not saying it's going to be terrible, but I don't see him doing it last year. But he'll be somewhere close to that maybe. But
I think the numbers will be there. But I think statistically, you're going to see a little bit of a drop off.
I can't trust the Chargers. I won't do that again. And then I went into the Colts, but this Andrew Luck thing now with these latest injuries now, I don't know. And now they're saying that he may not even play week 1.
Yeah, I want to believe in the Colts too, but I need to see Andrew Luck healthy before I pick them. I do like the Chargers. I just don't like them. They're a bad matchup against New England. They could beat the Chiefs though. They've shown that, but against New England, that's just not. They didn't match up well, which was obvious in the playoffs last year.
I'm not ready to anoint the Browns yet in the division. I have them as a wild card, but I got Pittsburgh winning the division still.
That's a tough division because you got at least. Well, I wouldn't even sleep on the Bengals to an extent, even though I think a lot of people think they're going to be bad, but I don't think they're going to be as bad as what people think. I think they're always a 7-win team at least. Sometimes they make the playoffs, so I wouldn't even sleep on them. I think the Browns could win the division. I just think that, it could be. It's a lot of questions there too, and then you got the Ravens there. They're replacing a lot. The Steelers, I want to buy in. I guess they'd probably be the safe pick there. So, I'm not mad at people going with Pittsburgh winning the division.
Yeah, and I've heard, and you talk about wild cards, like even, obviously Cleveland was one of mine, but I mean, Baltimore. I mean, you bring back John Harbaugh. I'm hearing good things about Lamar Jackson in camp. I mean, Baltimore could be a team that can really mess things up in that whole entire AFC.
I still like Houston. I think a lot of people haven't really talked about the Texans either. They won the division. They won the division last year. I know they went out against the Colts in the wild card round, but Yeah, I like the Houston. I think that South is going to be interesting. Jacksonville could rise up and make the playoffs once again. Tennessee's been 9-7 the last couple of years,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, that's the AFC South is going to be interesting there as
The
well.
entire AFC, I'm going to declare it now. I'm going to say the AFC is wide open because, like I said, we can sit there and say the usuals, but again, it has to end at some point with the Patriots, and obviously the Chiefs. It's too obvious. In the NFL, you never go to the obvious pick because there's always a surprise every year. You know what I'm saying? So this is that
Yeah,
every year.
True.
All right, let's go to baseball quick, man. Your favorite sport of all time? Is it still your favorite sport of all time, or?
No, I never said it's my favorite. I said it's my first love.
Right. There you go. That's true. You did say that. You did say that years ago. That's right. Because when I first met you, you were the honk. You were the guy going to more than anybody else. Are we destined for a Dodgers-Yankees World Series?
I would go with Houston. I like what the Astros have put together, and did what they did in the trade deadline there as well. So yeah, I probably would go. I probably go with Houston right now, but yeah, the Yankees are definitely there. Wouldn't surprise me if they were to get there. I just like what the Astros are putting together, and wouldn't surprise me if we would get another Dodgers Astros World Series like we did a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Houston's plus, run difference is plus 181, obviously best in the entire American League. It's funny, like, the Yankees get all the love because it's the Yankees, but Houston's kind of under the radar. Now, granted, they had a very successful trade deadline, and I'm with you on the Houston thing. I'm a big fan of the Astros, so I would definitely pick Houston in the AL. The National League, again, the Dodgers plus 214. But they've kind of been this way for the last couple of years, and then they got into the World Series the last couple of years, and then they've, obviously they just can't get the job done. I mean, this has got to be their year now, right?
You would think so, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I think Houston is just as good as team to win it as anybody. I think they could win it. As far as they at least think the Dodgers are going to get out of the NL and make it to the World Series. I really can't see anybody else. I wouldn't put money on anybody else winning that right now. It's too many. The other teams are kind of all the same.
Maybe the Braves. I mean, they're still too young.
I think they're young, but they do have some veteran people there. Josh Donaldson there, but their bullpen situation kind of concerns me. So yeah, I probably would still lean towards the Dodgers.
Yeah, look at the National League right now. It's really just, I mean, if you look at the entire league, it feels like there's really maybe two teams, the Dodgers, and then maybe the Braves. Like everybody else is in the same, kind of like convoluted between 5 games. Like you have obviously St. Louis, the Cubs, the Brewers, hanging around, the Nationals, the Phillies, the Mets got hot. The Mets got hot recently. They've cooled off a little bit now last couple days. So that's not. It's like, as I told folks, don't get too happy. Enjoy the ride, but they'll let you down always. I'm a Mets fan for how long now? 33 years. I know how this game works now. You get to. The National League seems a lot more sure of themselves in terms of like which teams are gonna represent the league. But the AL seems a lot more interesting. Like even the Twins. Look, the Twins at 72 wins right now. They're getting no love.
Yeah, the Twins. I still think the Indians are going to win the division, but yeah, the Twins are definitely right there, and that looks like they're at least barring something catastrophic are going to get into the play. And then I think the Rays are going to get into that second wild card spot. Although the Oakland A's are right there as well. It seems like it's between one of those two teams, and but yeah, it's the AL's a lot more deeper and a lot more interesting than the NL is right now.
Which leads to the next question, because it's close to your heart, of course. The Red Sox, man. I thought 2 weeks ago they were making a surge back to the top, and then they cooled off again. What's going on with the Red Sox?
Pitching. It's just been the story all year. Last year they had everything worked out well. It's pitching and the way they were able to counteract some of the moves that they made, and Alex Cora ended up taking some of the started pitchers and putting them in the bullpen in the playoffs, which had really helped them. This year, they still don't have a bullpen. They don't have a closer because they lost Kimball, and they also lost Joe Kelly there as well with the Dodgers. So, and also the starting pitching hasn't been as well. Chris Sale has struggled. and they're not going to make the play. They would need a miracle to get in at this point.
They're 17.5 games behind the Yankees, so the division's out of the question. And right now in the wild card, it's 7.5 games back in the wild card. I mean, who would have thought the Red Sox would be that many games in the wild card behind? That to me, that's insane to me.
Well, they were 9.5 the other day, so hey, they've made up 2 games. So I guess you got to start something.
Man, I don't know. It's weird not seeing Boston at least in the conversation right now for the division lead, but you know, it's one of those years, man. I guess the Yankees have figured it out. I mean, hopefully. I mean, I'm not a Yankee fan, so I'm not even trying to give them any love, but geez, what they're doing this year is just incredible. You know. So,
well, I thought the Red Sox would come back down to earth. I thought they won 108 games last year, and everything worked out well. And this year, it's just been the complete opposite.
Yeah, but this ain't Earth, bro. This is beyond Earth. I mean, you come back down, but you can still be within 10 games of first place in division. You got the Rays ahead of you. That's what gets me. Like the Rays.
Well, that's not surprising. The Rays won 90 games last year.
Oh no, I agree, but Boston's not even in the conversation. They're not even in the conversation right now in August.
I actually thought the Yankees would win the division this year too. I just thought that coming in they had the better team. I thought the Red Sox the offense would be able to keep up with them, but I just thought that on paper the Yankees were that much better, and clearly that's been the case.
Right. How jacked are you for college football now? Next week, week 0. That's actually a thing. Week 0.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
How jacked are you for the Canes Gators game? I'm so. I'll tell you what. I'm excited about this game. I'm not even I don't know. Obviously, I don't have no horse in the race. I'm a Knowles fan, but you know, I'm in Florida, and this is 2 teams. These are our 2 biggest rivals. You know, outside of Clemson and the other conference teams, these are 2 biggest rivals, the Gators and the Canes, and they're going to against each other for the 3rd time in 30 years. What is it?
Since 2014. So it's been 5 years since they played each other last.
And how many times in the last 2 decades or 3 decades? I think it was not very much. Matchups 3, 4,
probably like a handful of times.
Right, it's a very low number. Right.
Yeah, they haven't played each other. Yeah, they stopped playing each other regularly after 1987, and then it's been sporadic after that. Steve Spurrier, they didn't play each other at all.
I know.
They didn't start playing each other until 2003. So yeah, it's been real sporadic since then. They're in talks of trying to rekindle a little bit of that. It's not going to be every single year though, not how it was, just because of the way the conference structure and the SEC with the 12 went to a 12 league with the 12 leagues. I mean 12 teams in the league. So Florida felt like they didn't need to play Miami every single year, and I agree.
So it's more about circumstance than it is about one school not being scared of playing the other school, right? It's more about circumstance.
Well, if you hear from Miami fans, they would tell you Florida is scared to play them, but Florida was dominant in the 90s, and the Hurricanes outside of their early 90s were not so good.
No, and that's against what Canes fans like they between 84 and 01.
Not 90, well, really 91, and then it was some down years.
Yeah, a couple years with Ray Lewis, yeah, and then a lot of it had to do with the penalty and all that they had back then too as well. But still, they don't have you can argue that in terms of longevity and success, they're probably the 3rd best team in the entire state, because even in the years where Florida State didn't win a title or even Florida won a title, they're always in the top 10 every year, and they're always in the conversation for a conference championship. Whereas the Canes had these, I won't say anomalies, because it's not an anomaly to win 5 championships, but it all came in a kind of a one group setting, right? So who's really been a better school long term? I would say the Canes have been 3rd best in the last. Hard to say that.
Well, yeah, out of those, I would say Florida State's probably sustained the success better than all 3. If you want to be technical, because of the way Bobby Bowden built and the success that they had, they just were able to win. They only won 2 titles under Bowden, but that was kind of unique circumstance. They ran into some really good teams and ended up losing some. And Florida, honestly, actually cost them a few of those championships as well.
Right, and by the way, the Knowles do play both teams every year.
Exactly. That's why I said Florida actually playing them the last game of the year actually kind of cost them a couple of times. So
remind me of that.
Really hurt them as well.
To me, the one that kills me the most, Twan, to this day, is the 1996 year. the Fiesta Bowl, because we beat you guys in November, as always. The November game we play every year after Thanksgiving, and then we got crushed in Fiesta Bowl.
Swallowed in New Orleans, yeah.
Yeah, don't remind me of that. Danny Werfel is just. I still get nightmares of Danny Werfel. But are you jacked up for this game, the Canes and the Gators? Two schools that are kind of trying to figure out who they are. They're kind of in the middle. They're not bad teams. Their teams are they still make impact in their respective conferences to some degree. But are trying to figure things out.
Florida more than anything. Miami more than anything. Florida won 10 games last year, which was really surprising to me.
Absolutely.
Dan Mullen's first year, and now they're a top 10 team coming in. What's crazy is Miami last year, they were kind of in the same situation. They were a top 10 team coming in to their game against LSU and just got completely smoked. And then that really set the tone for their terrible year, their down year coming off of winning 10 games the year before. So, yeah, Florida definitely has a lot of momentum coming into this game, and they believe that they could be one of the best teams in the SEC outside of Georgia and Alabama. Mm-hmm. So they're definitely going to have a tough schedule. Outside the Miami game, they got to play LSU on the road. Obviously, they have to play Georgia. And if they were to get past that, and I never discount the Florida State game, even though the year they had, but they beat Florida State too as well. And then if they happen to get past all of that, they have the SEC championship, which will probably be either Alabama which I really like LSU this year, or LSU waiting on them.
I mean, Florida State, you just mentioned Florida State. They have to get better, right? I mean, they got to be better this year, right? Or will they?
Yeah, I think they will. I think they're going to win probably about 8 games or so. They're going to pull off some upsets, but I don't think they're going to be nearly as bad as what they were a year ago. I expect them to beat Miami. The game is in Tallahassee this year, and I expect them to make it competitive against Florida. I don't know if they're going to beat them considering the game is in the Swamp, but again, you never know in rivalry games. You can throw out the home field advantage and the pass out the window because you really just don't know because anything can happen in those games.
Last year was one of those years where obviously the first time in 36 years the Noles to make the bowl.
Well, Florida was due.
Yeah, I'm just saying that the not making the bowl for 36 years.
Oh yeah,
That's
first
weird.
time
A bowl game.
First time since I've been alive. They have not made a bowl game.
yeah. It was strange year last year for the Noles, but I mean they can't go no worse. I mean, they cannot go no worse, but or could they? I don't know.
If it does, they're going to have a new head coach. I'm pretty sure about that.
Absolutely, I'll even petition for that. Put it that way. Let's go wrestling real quick. Wrestling, because I don't know if I told you or you've seen this, but for the first time in 17 years, I started watching this summer. The current product rather, and I've been pretty active in talking about it on social media. I've been writing about it a lot more. To be honest with you, I think wrestling recently has actually broke my writer's block. I've credited the last couple of pay-per-views to that broke my writer's block. You and I were talking on Sunday prior to SummerSlam, and the vibe I got from you was that there's some beef with Kofi Kingston. You not a fan of Kofi Kingston?
No, I like Kofi Kingston. I just don't think he's a main event guy, and I think everybody knows that. It's just a matter of, one, who do they see him? Who's going to beat him? Who's going to be the top face after that? And two, what's the plan after that for him and the rest of the WWE? I can't see him being the champion once they go to Fox. I really can't, because they're trying to sell people watching the product on Fox Network. And I like Kofi Kingston. He is a really good wrestler, and I was really happy that he won the title. But it's just, I just don't think he's a big main event guy, and that's just my biggest beef with that. And I think somebody on Twitter, I had some people disagree with me, and one person was saying, well, she didn't necessarily disagree with me, but she was saying she's happy for him because she knows he's never going to get that opportunity again, which I can respect that because he probably won't. You could have somebody like a Randy Orton or whoever else you might want to take over to be the guy. But yeah, I like Kofi. I just don't think he's a main event guy.
I can see why you say that. And coming into watching it this June, I started watching again. Like I was like, what are they seeing this guy? But then I'm watching his matches and I'm watching his feuds, this summer, and I can see why they tried this experiment. And to be honest with you, I'll say it again. Between him as champion and Seth Rollins as a Universal Champion, his first reign before he got it back, before he lost it in the Extreme Rules, I would dare argue that Kofi's reign has been far better and far more intriguing than Seth Rollins. And yet, the WWE is pushing Seth Rollins down our throats.
I'm not a fan of the Seth Rollins thing either, but I actually like Seth Rollins, but I just thought that when Brock won the title from him before cashing in the Money in the Bank, I was kind of like, okay, it's kind of time to do something different and figure out what they want to do.
Right.
Because I like Seth, but I just felt like they were driving to him and Becky Lynch kind of down our throat a little bit, which that's what kind of turns fans off. It's not that they don't like certain people, it's just that they just really just push it to the point where they want us to like the person, where we ended up disliking them. So that's kind of how I felt about the whole situation. And kind of Becky Lynch, too, to an extent. I like her as well, but kind of like, Sasha Banks is back. Yeah, I would like to see her get it out.
She's fine as hell, dude.
Obviously, yeah.
No, the reason I say I never saw her until I knew of her, but I never really saw her in the ring or even on TV until on Raw. Because remember I started watching in June, she went away after WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's the last time she was there.
Yeah, so she's actually new to me. She's green to me.
Her Bayley won the tag team titles, and then she just went away for a while.
Nah, she damn. And I love her come back. Beating the living shit out of Becky Lynch. I love Becky Lynch myself too. I'm with you. Like Kofi, but I think what is with Kofi too though. And especially you and I have been watching wrestling since the Hulkamania era, so we know a standard of what they have for a champion, how they look like, and I mean, granted, Kofi is not somebody that you would think would be a champion. Maybe this is new to us, having also a black
Daniel
champion.
Bryan isn't either, but I like Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
I think he has a great character, and the man can wrestle.
Do you think maybe I like what they did at SummerSlam, having a wash, having was it double DQ I think it was, or DQ one?
Yeah.
Right.
Double count out,
right. Having him go ape shit on Randy because he was mocking his family, whatever. I thought that was kind of cool. I don't think people the kids want this obviously, but these are the kids. But people like you and I, a little older, we kind of want, even though you're a babyface, we kind of want some edge to your character, And I think Kofi Kingston, what they did with him beating the shit out of Randy Orton with the kendo stick at the end of the match, I think that was a good way to go. And I think that put a little edge to Kofi's character. And I think that might actually solidify him a little bit more as a believable champion for that reason. Because, it's the same thing with Seth Rollins. We don't want extreme baby faces either. We want realistic. You could be a good guy, but still have a little bit of a... Hulk Hogan had that. Even back in the 80s. I know Hulk Hogan's not a very popular guy anymore, but Hulk Hogan, even as a extreme babyface, had some heel tendencies back then, before he was Hollywood.
Well, yeah, I think, it's certain guys that you like as heels prefer the babyface. I think Seth Rollins is a better heel.
Yeah,
I think when he was with the Authority, I thought he had a lot of heat then. I thought a lot of people, even though he was disliked, but he had a bigger buzz than what he is now. Him being a face just isn't the same. That's kind of how I feel about it. If they would have some kind of, he was to go back to that, then I think he would be, a lot of people would have be more receptive to him.
I think
that's kind of how I felt about that.
I think what hurt Seth Rollins was that whole Twitter beef he had with that guy, whatever his name was, a month ago, and trying to put the WWE over and, being this kind of like almost arrogant in a lot of ways on Twitter. And I think that kind of, registered down to the WWE universe and people didn't like it. I mean, dude got booed at SummerSlam. He got booed coming out.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit to that as well. I get it from his standpoint because he's just trying to stick up for the WWE, and I think a lot of people are talking about everybody likes to do things, and they're talking obviously what the Rhodes brothers are doing over there, and of course you see with Chris Jericho and everything like that. So yeah,
have you been watching AEW? Have you been watching it?
Yeah, I watched the matches. Yeah, I think I'm glad there's some competition against the WWE. Mm-hmm. I think you can watch them both. I was watching WCW just what I was watching WWE back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
yeah, I'm all about competition. I don't think you need to pick one or the other. You can just watch them both and enjoy them both at the same time.
Well,
I think that's what they're trying to do.
Well, especially now because it'll be on Wednesdays as opposed to Monday nights directly with each other. You know, and both can exist in its own little bubble and fine. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think the Kofi thing. Went back to Kofi real quick. You know, that him doing what he did was, I think, added maybe. I'm with you with it doesn't look weird. It looks weird him being a champion, but I think they're really trying some new things with it. And hopefully, this Edge character a little bit now will actually help a little bit. I will say this much though, because if it's not gonna be Kofi on SmackDown, maybe Kevin Owens, because you know they're pushing him too.
Yeah, I think that's eventually what's going to happen. Because I can see that. Yeah, well, he's been champion before, so I would definitely be all about that.
Yeah, but I don't think he stood out though as a champion. I mean, like in the same way like Roman Reigns did, or even like Seth Rollins now, and obviously other greats from the last Daniel Bryan stood out. Kevin Owens really didn't stand out.
He's underrated. He's still underrated, even though I think he's a great heel. And then now he's using him as a babyface, which I think his beef against Shane McMahon has been awesome as well.
You like the angle, Shane?
I hate the Shane angle, but I like him with the Shane angle, if that makes sense.
The thing with Shane,
I think it works. I think it works better with him than Roman Reigns. So I'll put it that way.
That I agree with. Yes, I agree with that part. I love Shane McMahon. I don't want too much of Shane McMahon because I can't appreciate him when Shane McMahon's in my face all the time. I can't appreciate him.
That's the thing. They try. That's another thing. They tried to drive that down our throat with the best in the world and everything.
I did write a piece. First off, your thoughts on the Return of King of the Ring?
I love it. They should have it as a pay-per-view event again. I think it'd be great. That used to propel so many wrestlers in the game of wrestling. I mean, Triple H, Stone Cold. So yeah, they should do it as a pay-per-view event again instead of just doing it on Raw or SmackDown.
I think they're going to do that. I think they're going to eventually do that. I think they want to see how many fans actually like the return of it, and I think next year they'll probably fit it in, put it back where it was in June every year. Back in June, I remember that every year. I look forward to that every year. It has some big events. Obviously, Austin's push, and King of the Ring, the first King of the Ring on pay-per-view. That was Hogan's last big match. His first run in WWF. A lot of big things happened on that show. I know Vince's not a big fan of tournaments, but if you're gonna if your thing is listening to the fans are clamoring for this for a long time. I'm glad it's back, and I'm glad at some point I think they want to see where this goes. They'll have the finals on Clash of Champions next month, and then go from there. And I think maybe next year they'll bring it back, hopefully in the summertime where it belongs. Because honestly, it was a staple for this company for a long time.
Yeah, you want to elevate other wrestlers, especially with the roster that they have is so large. Or how about doing King of the Ring tournament, and that can propel somebody to be that bigger star. So I think it could be really good.
I'm glad you said that because I literally just finished writing a piece before we got on this call, and I wrote a piece basically saying that with the Return of King of the Ring, I'm going to put out the piece in a couple minutes after we hang up here. Return of the King of the Ring. This is the opportunity now for Drew McIntyre to get that push he needs to get to the top.
Yeah, I actually thought he was going to win the Money in the Bank, but obviously that didn't happen.
Right.
But I definitely think he should be next in line to get some kind of title, because I thought he's really been great since his return back to the WWE, and I think he deserves some kind of belt at least in the close future.
I can see him in the Seth Rollins program coming up. And now with Brock gone now, especially too. I mean, Brock I'm sure we've gone for a little while now, back to his part-time status, of what you want to call it.
He'll be in Minnesota somewhere back home,
banging Sable,
and his wife Sable.
Still hot, still very hot. Even in their 50s. But I think it's an opportunity for Drew McIntyre to be pushed to the top. And as we just said, King of the Rings has always been the event that seems to create stars, and McIntyre is a guy that has the look. Look, The Rock last week even said himself he's the next big thing. Booker T on his podcast this week said he should win it. These are guys, by the way, Booker T, who won the King of the Ring way back when. So you have a situation now where these guys who obviously The Rock and Booker T, two Hall of Famers, or at least one future Hall of Famer, they know what they're talking about. I mean, hopefully
Exactly.
the WWE actually listens now.
Yeah, you have to listen to your wrestlers because they're seeing, especially Booker T. He's there all the time, so yeah, he sees it. I'm sure they know. It's just a matter of how they're gonna make Drew McIntyre just that big star that they're trying to work on. But yeah, I mean, he should be a champion at some point.
Yes.
So it's been well deserved.
You know who agrees with that too? Also, yeah, it's surprising. Even our boy G Steele agrees with that.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I disagree with him about everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, he definitely should be a champion. I'm surprised they at least hadn't had like a U.S. title on him or something.
Yeah, I agree. Finally, let you go. Last thing here. Lately we've been this little trend the last couple weeks on social media with people putting out their top 50 hip hop list. Now you are definitely a hip hop connoisseur. Like you are definitely of all my friends, probably in my top 5 people who are hip hop, like just disciples. Where did it start? Actually, this top 50 list start because it's somehow dragged down to everybody doing it now. Do you know where it started from?
I just know Twitter's people somebody, I don't know who that person was, but they were releasing the list and about the top 50, and then everybody just started to do it, and then all celebrities and people like that like, yeah, let me do my top 50. And even Magic Johnson came out of the top 50 hip hop artists, which his list is just real ridiculous.
Wait.
Magic Johnson.
I know Magic did a top 60 TV show list yesterday for his birthday.
You hadn't seen the list?
I saw the list, a little bit of the list. Kind of weird. 32 and 33 having was it Judge Mathis and Judge Judy? What?
No, he has that, but yeah, he got a top 50 hip hop list. And
Magic Johnson
I think he has Tupac number 1 and Biggie 2 and LL Cool J 3, and he has DJ Khaled on there. Like that's what I was like. Yeah, I can't read anymore. Like I'm good.
Magic will always be my GOAT. He's my favorite athlete of all time. But good God, stop tweeting. Like he literally gave a Laker job for this crap. It's insane.
For tweeting.
It's insane. I'll be honest with you. The best list I saw, and you might agree with this also too, was Mike Tyson's.
Yeah, Mike Tyson's is pretty good. I want to do. I should just come out with my own. Like I've done it. I just hadn't put it out on social media. But yeah, his is very similar to mine. I made a few changes, but yeah, his is really good.
I don't know if I can do 50. I can do 20 because I feel like if I add 30 more, I'm just putting names just to put names there. Honestly.
Well, yeah, that's what I felt like some people were doing, and some people's lists were just ridiculous. I just like, oh my god, would y'all just slap names together? That's kind of how I felt. Some people were just doing
Give me your 10. Give me your 10. Your 10. Not in any order. Just your top 10 hip hop artists.
Definitely Jay-Z, Tupac, Nas, Biggie. I have to throw Eminem in there. I would throw Scarface, LL Cool J, KRS-One, Rakim. I don't know how many that is right there.
That's 9. That's 9.
That's 9. I probably would go with I'll say Common, number 10 right there.
I'm sorry now. My number 1 is gonna be Busta Rhymes. That's a personal favorite of mine though. So
that's fine. Yeah, I ain't mad at that at all. I mean, yeah, it's like I say, it's all subjective. It's just a matter of what you believe in. But yeah, some people are just ridiculous with the way they put their list together. But yeah, Busta Rhymes, I don't think he's getting enough credit as he should these days.
Busta Rhymes' first 3-4 album run was, I would put up there as one of the better runs in the history of the genre. Like his first 3-4 albums, ELE,
his first 3,
Genesis,
his first 3, yeah,
his first 3.
I didn't like Anarchy. I didn't like Anarchy.
See, I love Anarchy. I love Anarchy. It's actually my favorite album of his.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. I mean, I wrestled with it. It's some good songs on there, but I don't think compared to the first 3, I didn't like it as much. Put it like that.
Right.
Because it definitely had a different sound to it. Now you being like a big time rock connoisseur, yeah, I'm sure you really liked it.
Yeah, that one song with Lenny Kravitz, Make Noise. That beat is sick. That song is sick, dude. It's a sick song.
Now, if I had going in, like knowing that it would have been what it was, then I might maybe appreciate it a little bit more. But yeah, thinking coming off his first 3 albums, you're just like, what the hell is this? That's what it was.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a completely different sound.
I would say ELE though is probably his most critically acclaimed record of all. Experimental Event.
I think it's the best one. I don't know. I think a lot of people like the comment too, but yeah, I like ELE too. It's probably my favorite one by hell.
Yeah, my list will go Busta Rhymes. Like, I'll put Jay-Z in top 10 just because I have to, because you have to acknowledge it. I'm not a big Jay-Z fan personally, but I'll put him in there just because of the fact that I'm that guy that I can acknowledge your greatness and I have to be a fan of your music. You know what I'm saying? And that's Jay-Z for me.
That's fair.
Like, you know, because to me, if Biggie doesn't die, Jay-Z is not as big as he was. I'm sorry.
I disagree with that because I thought he was. I agree with that too. I don't think he's as big of a star. I still think he's great though because he came out. His first album is considered his best album,
right?
And then Biggie was obviously alive during that time. So yeah, I still think he's great. I don't know how big of a star he becomes, but I definitely think he is still he might be more like Nas to an extent because Biggie was so overpowered. Like he would have been in Biggie's shadow. That could have been a big thing, but I still think he would have been great. He could have been clinically acclaimed that way.
Right. Well, hopefully we see your list one day. Hopefully we see a list on.
Yeah,
on
I may just put it out maybe over the weekend possibly, but we'll see.
Now, mine may not be in order necessarily because I don't want to just put in order because I think it's a disrespect to the greats because there's a very few modern guys I'll go to that say that's in the conversation. Like Kendrick Lamar has made some impact in the last 10 years, and look. I'm on again.
He'd be like 11 for me. That's pretty much like he would be the highest one.
Really?
Or it's like he's pretty high up there on the list for me already.
I have to be honest with you, I'm not even a fan of the guy. But if you don't have Drake on your list, I don't like Drake, Quan. I don't like him at all. But he's the most impactful hip hop artist in the last 10 years. That's a fact.
Yeah, I think so. But as an MC, I can't really have him on the list though. I don't know. I think he's more of a great artist more than a hip hop MC or hip hop artist. I think he branches out to so many different genres. But yeah, you're right. As far as the impact and album sales and things like that, it's nobody that's higher than Drake right now. So yeah, and that end I would agree with you.
Right. I mean, again, I don't want to look. I'm not a Drake guy at all, but you have to. I mean, his impact in the last 10 years. He has a major following. You have to give the devil his due.
like Beyonce. It's pretty much like Beyonce, that following too.
Yeah, Beyonce is one of those things where like I like her, but I can after her first album, maybe or even her second album, I just didn't care anymore. It wasn't until her best album was probably Lemonade, and it took her.
I was gonna say, I would like Beyonce a lot more if people didn't try to drive her down my throat and just said, "Oh well, she's like better than Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, and all that." And I was like, "Come on, really?"
I'll give you this much with Beyonce. We'll go after this. Beyonce is probably the best entertainer today. I will say that. Maybe her and Mars. I'll give her that. But in terms of all-time greatest singers or vocalists, like is she on the top 15, 20 list? Absolutely. But I mean, she's a very, really good vocalist, but Whitney and Mariah, and I have a hard time just saying yes automatically without even thinking about it. Yeah,
she's in the mode of, I like I'm sure going to see a show would be fun because she's kind of in the mode of Janet Jackson where dancing and singing and all that, which is something that I definitely would enjoy. And that's an old school fella because I'm a big Janet fan. So but again, I would definitely enjoy that.
Yeah, but again, it's not Janet, and I think Janet has better songs at the end of the day. Better songs.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, she's more iconic songs. I can't even give you. And then I'll say this about Beyonce real quick. She did the cover of Franklin Beverly and Mays "Before I Let You Go," and I heard that and I just cringed.
Was that bad?
Yes. Well, I think that's such a classic song that it's certain songs that shouldn't be remade. That's one of them. But yeah, I don't think it's bad, but it's just kind of like why is this being remade? That's kind of how I felt about it.
You do know if the Bayhive hear this podcast and they hear your ass talking about this shit about Beyonce, they gonna crucify your ass, right?
Well, that's fine.
You be alright.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Anyway, where can I find you, Antwan? All your writings now. You're still a busy man. You're doing different publications now, and obviously, where can I find you?
You find me on Twitter, Antwan Staley. Just find my work there. Antwan Sports. Also, I'm working for the Wire Report, covering the Carolina Panthers. So yeah, you find me a lot of different places.
Antwan, come to Florida, man. We miss you here, man.
Yeah, man. Well, I actually will be there in the next couple of weeks doing some work for Bleacher Report. So yeah,
Nice.
I will be there. So yeah,
You gonna be Miami or Broward or anything like that?
yeah, I will be in South Florida.
Try to get a drink when you get. Let me when we get down here. Try to get a drink or something.
All right, I will definitely do that.
All right, buddy. Take care, man.
All right, Dan. Thank you. Thanks for having me, man.
You got it, brother. Take care.
All right.
All right.